Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today I'm going to get back on the crankshaft project for the RM125 Suzuki. We're going to go into the next stage here, which is be making the stud to press into the snout. And I've been doing a little experimenting, and I'm trying to get comfortable with what I need to do here. And I've had to make a few changes, and I'll let you know what those are, kind of what I'm running into, and we'll just get on with this thing. So let me get you overhead and we'll go. Okay, here's what we had accomplished the last time, and I drilled that with a 11/32. Oh no, it didn't either. It's 23/64 was my drill size, and you know I don't want to take any more out of here because I think it would take away from the structural integrity here. So my original thought was I was going to make all this from a piece of 3/8 coal roll, which would be like this. But when I got to experimenting with my threads, the threads are not really optimum. They're not deep enough. If you go to the machinery handbook, I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar with this, and we're looking at external threads here, and you go to 10 millimeter 125 pitch, and I'm looking for the most optimum thread that I can get, the deepest threads. So it's telling me that for that I need a 9.972 major diameter to a 9.760 minor diameter. And so the major would really be the optimum. And if we're looking at that, you want the most threads that you can so you get the best holding power. So that would put me at 0.393. And I can't get there with a piece of 0.375 material. You just can't get there. It's so the threads, although they're there and they would hold, they seem to work okay. They're just not going deep enough into the nut. So I've elected to go to a piece of 7/16, which is 437, and I'll just turn that down to the optimum size for my threads. But the first thing I need to do is to turn it down for this size. And on this one here, I'm pretty much there. I've got everything except the threads on this piece here. So it's really just about to the point of being able to press in there. But I'm going to go through the whole process here with another piece and make a couple other changes. And the first thing we need to do is need to see what this is. And I go down in here with a hole gauge, and you've got to kind of watch that you don't get into where the keyway is here. And for that one, we're looking right at 0.360. And if I measure that with a micrometer, I believe I was just a little bit less. Yeah, 3/10,000ths under that, according to my mic. So I would venture to trust my mic more than I do the caliper for sure. So we want about 2 to 2.5 thousandths interference fit. We want to be careful because we do have this keyway in here, and this isn't real thin here, but still we don't want to be shoving something in there and end up splitting this. So I'm going to shoot for more like 2, and then of course we'll Loctite it in with press fit Loctite. Let's see what I got here. Yeah, okay, 609 is retaining compound press fit. So we'll be using that, and then when we'll drill up here, like I said in the other video, right in this area and pin it too, just so that there's absolutely no way it can come out of there. So that's kind of where we're at now. I want to turn down this part here that's going to fit into the crankshaft haft first. Then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, all that in a collet, and then I'm going to take and chuck this up into 4-jaw and get it just gnat's butt on, and then I'm going to thread it. That way everything should be concentric. You know, it really doesn't matter if your threads are a little off one way or the other. It's still going to be good enough to hold it. But you know, if we're doing it, we just as well try to get it as best we can. So that's what I'm going to do by chucking it up once I get this this portion here the way I want it. So let's get to it. Before we get to that, I just wanted, I had done this test with the at the full major diameter, and I don't know, it probably isn't going to really show up that well, but the threads are so much better. You know, they're taller, everything is more pronounced on them. I just think this is the way to go. We get a better fit that way. You know, you can't really tell when you're how much it's filling it up or anything, but there's absolutely no rock in that, so it's a good fit. And I just feel better having the deepest threads that we can have. So this is using the 7/16 stock cut down to the proper size. This is using 3/8 stock, which is really not even minimum. So that's why we're going with this. It's a little more work, but it should provide a better product. Now let's go. Okay, let's just kind of get things marked here where we need to go to. I want to make sure that I'm off of the floor of my hole just a little bit so that I don't run into the bottom, and so I'll make sure that I've got just a little space there. So that I don't bottom things out. So about there. I think I was a little close on some of my stuff in the last video, so I'm going to back up a little bit so it'll be clearer. The GoPro just does not lend itself very well to close-up, so hopefully I can do a little better job here. All right. Take my first cut here to kind of get so I know where I'm at, and then we'll take a little deeper cuts. But I just I have been amazed at, I for some reason have got a following of some of the machinists, real machinists out there, and to be quite honest with you, I'm a little bit embarrassed that, you know, I'm just a hobby guy. and I've got these guys watching, and so far they've been very helpful. A lot of good suggestions, and you just never know with YouTube where you're going to get viewers from, and this is kind of, like I say, a pleasant surprise, but I'm at the same time a little bit embarrassed that you know, the equipment I've got, and certainly my technique is not proper, I'm sure. But anyhow, welcome y'all, you fellas and gals too. And hopefully I won't embarrass your trade too much. And I certainly do appreciate good suggestions. You know, I'm a motorcycle guy, but I try to incorporate any kind of machine shop stuff that I can into these videos, because it seems to interest a lot of people. Okay guys, something happened to my audio, so I'm kind of starting over here a little bit. Anyway, we need to remove about 66 thousandths, so I'm going to take a couple cuts here, maybe 3. If you've been watching me for any period of time at all, you know I'm not big into heavy cuts or anything, so just bear with me. I just happened to look up and saw that I didn't have any audio on my camera going there, so I had to stop and figure out what the problem was. Okay, I'm just taking the spring pass now. I should be right on the money, really, maybe 1/1000th. And at that point I'll finish it up with a file. Okay, let's take a look here. About 364. Yep. .364 and 1/10. So we're real close. Caliper's pretty close from what I can tell. We'll go up here and check again. Same. So I'd like to get down to about 2 thousandths. We're at 4 thousandths now. So I'm going to go ahead and take a file and just kind of work it down a little bit and keep an eye on my measurement. The thousandths comes off pretty quick. But it'll take longer than you think. You know, we're down about 1/2 thousandths. So I'll just continue to work on this until I get down to my press fit size. Okay, we're at 2 and 1/10 thousandths. And the same. So that should be a good press fit for that little part. I'll go ahead and put a little chamfer on the end here, and then we'll swap it around and start working on the thread end. Okay, I've got the piece that we just turned down, and I'm setting on where we turned it down and have it adjusted in the forejaw here to just about 0. So what we'll do now is go ahead and turn the stub down and then thread it. Okay, so the stub is at 437 and we've got to go to 393. Yeah, 393. And that's the upper end of our major diameter. So let's get set up to go. So we're 33 thousandths away, so we'll just dial in 30. I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay, so we're at 0.4, so we've got about 7 thousandths. So we dialed in 6. See where we're at when we get there. Okay, let's see where we're at. 392, 392.5. So we're good. 393 was our target, and we've got quite a bit of difference there. So this will work good for our threads. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to cheat on this one and use a die. Probably on the bigger one I'm going to have to do single point, but on this one we're gonna use the die. I've got to move things here just a little bit. All right, give it a shot of oil there. I've got a little taper on that, so it'll start in. I'm just going to back this up to keep it square for until it gets started. Drop this transmission down low. Oops, I think back you out here just a little bit. Okay. Okay, got them cut there, I think. Yeah. Good and solid. Yeah, I like that. All right, I think we're done with that. So let's get it out of there. All right, let's get this thing cleaned up. Use a little acetone here to get everything oil and dirt free. And let that dry a little. And we'll do the same thing to the stud. And we'll let that one dry also. And next step is our application of Loctite, and then we'll press it in. I'll see you at the press. Okay, I'm going to first apply our Loctite, and it's supposed to be applied to both parts. All right, let's get that out of there. Oops, I gotta turn the air on here. How's your view there? Nice and tight. All right. All right, I've got this set up now to recut the keyway, and it's pretty tight in here, not really going to be able to see much, but we're going for the stick out at 0.78, I believe. Yeah, 0.078. That's what, when the key is installed, that's where it needs to be. So let's get some oil on that thing and see what we can do. We don't have to go too far, but we've got to restore what we had before we put the stub in there. All right, it's cutting now. I know it's hard to see back in there. I think we're close. I'm gonna install the key and see how it's looking. Never sure on this other light. I can see, but I don't think that it shows up very good on the camera. But we're just about there. Just a little more, I think. Okay, I can now reach in here, and as I slide down the old part into the new part, I don't feel a ledge. Feels like a smooth transition. So I think we're there. I'm just going to have to get it out and measure it, but I think we'll be all right. Okay, now we're going to locate for our pin. So there. So we'll go up here and zero that one. Locate this one. Right there. And then we'll come up here in half. Right there. 5906. So we'll come up back down here. And then move to 0. Ah. Yeah. We're going to call it good right there. So now we should be right in the middle. Okay, so let me lower this down and we'll get our drill in there. Okay, let's get our starter one in there. Boy, that thing's not very sharp. I've got a dimple, but I'd like it to go in a little further than that. It's just dull. I'm gonna have to replace that one. Oh yeah, much better. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we can get a hole in here now. It's very gentle. I think this is the day of the dull bits. Okay, what's going on here is that I couldn't believe I had all these dull bits. And it's not dull. This crankshaft is case hardened here, and I was having a heck of a time getting through it. So what I did was I very easily took a masonry bit with a carbide tip just to break through the outside layer where the hardening is. Now it seems like it's drilling okay. See, I didn't run into any hardness when I drilled up the middle of it. So it's just back there where the case hardening is. Yeah, so it's drilling okay now. Let me, I actually want to get a different bit if it'll cut it, because it's a little bit smaller and I need some interference fit with it. So this one measures at 0.1245, and the one I want to use is a thousandths under that. Now once you get through the case hardening, it just drills right through. It's still kind of hard, but imagine the case hardening was about, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch maybe. I think I'm going to try to not quite drill all the way through. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm just about to the end of it there. Okay, I sprayed some brake clean up into the hole, and I just went one, I'm not going all the way through. I'm just about the thickness of the cased hardening on the other side. I really don't see, it's still going through the whole center bolt that we put in. So I don't see any point in doing that all the way through and having to dress it in two places. The Loctite is going to hold it in, and I'm using some acetone here to clean our pin. And it dries pretty quick. And then this is press fit again. And I'm actually going to take and put some on the handle of a wooden Q-tip and put it up in the hole. I'm supposed to put it on both pieces. So it kind of goes in at first where I had the drill through with the masonry bit, but then it gets tight. And we've got a brass back up here. Alright. So I'm going to take and try to brad this over the best I can without damaging the shaft here. Try to kind of swell it at the top to make up the extra room in that top of that hole. And then I'm going to cut this off and finish the job. Okay, I've got that pretty well swelled at the top, so that's taken up any additional room there. I'm just going to go ahead and slowly take it off. I think I'm pretty close there. Let me get a screwdriver and see if I can just break it off. Now, cut it a little more. There we go. And now what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and tap this a little bit to try to get that continue to swell there a little bit if I can. And then we'll just grind it. We'll just clean it up with a diamond burr very carefully. Yeah, should be good. Okay guys, there's the finished item. There's where our pin went right there, and that's the inside from the rotor. It probably will actually go up there. I'll kind of cover that up a little bit, but the main part of the taper is over right here. I'm not real sure how far it goes on. I don't have anything of that size, so I have nothing to go by. I just didn't want the pin to be where the taper was. So that should be clear there, and we're clear here on the sealing surface. And we've got our brand new threads here. The only thing is we'll have to check the run out when the crankshaft goes together on the bearing surface instead of the crankshaft ends here, because I just really didn't think I'd be able to get that dimpled in the right place. So it was it's just kind of a moot point. The keyway's all done. It's in there. And it measures about what it's supposed to. In 72, and I think it was supposed to be 74, so it's good enough. So there, we've got a new snout and good threads, and it's all held together with Loctite, press fit 2.5 thousandths, and the pin is 1.5 thousandths with Loctite on it. Well, there's your step 2. Actually, I think we're up to part 3 with this one. We had the first part where we were evaluating what we needed to do, and then we drilled out for the new stud, and this time we put the stud in and pinned it. You know, I was having trouble with my drill getting through this surface here, and I don't know why the spot drill, it didn't like it, but it went through it. And my regular jobber bit just would not go, and I finally, after trying 2 or 3 different bits, I happened to have a masonry bit. These have a carbide tip on them, and if you just go very slowly, I was pretty sure that once I got through that case hardening, and it wouldn't be very thick, that I'd be okay, and I was. So it was just probably less than 1/16 of an inch, if that, and then we were able to drill with a regular high-speed drill bit. So there you have it, guys. Stay tuned. We'll start on the other side. Hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.